What is up, you guys? In this one, I'll be showing you how to implement an automated cryptocurrency headline sentiment analysis prototype on Python. Simply because you might, want to get into the crypto NFT or even the stock market without any past financial experience. Said differently, you may be reading financial articles without any understanding of financial terms or what's even meant between the lines. Just because we don't come from that financial background and so not being able to speak the crypto lingo doesn't mean that we couldn't get into the crypto world. Now, another thing is that you might not have the luxury of time to go through tons of articles on a daily to hourly basis. So after implementing, all we have to do is sit back, relax, and just go through the beautiful wandb plots and histograms containing all model predictions. Now, the back end will be powered by some popular financial models and inference tools. For this one, I'll be using wandb, or weights and biases, to visualize our plots, who's also the sponsor of this video. pygooglenews to get the headlines of our cryptocurrency from Google News. FinBERT, which relies on Hugging Face to train our financial crypto headlines. And last but not least, PyTorch to perform inference on the crypto headlines to check whether they're positive, negative, or neutral. And to achieve all this, I'll be using my favorite Google Colab. Now, before we start with the video, I'd like to take some time to introduce you to wandb, which stands for weights and biases, and to why I'm using it instead of, let's say, matplotlib. Well, weights and biases is particularly designed for machine learning researchers and engineers. You can use lightweight interoperable tools for the entire life cycle of your ML project for different hyperparameter optimization, model versioning, and datasets. You can even share your results across different team members. wandb is already in use by ML engineers in different sectors, such as economics, agriculture, robotics, self-driving cars, and much more. You can easily capture all the information you need to make your models reproducible. Well, to me, I'll be using weights and biases as my central dashboard to track my system metrics and predictions so that I can easily share it and make my crypto model reproducible. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, let's get wandb, weights and biases, installed in our Python environment. Well, that's super easy. All we need to do is run a pip install wandb. Simple as that, with an exclamation mark, meaning that we're going to run it as if we're running it on our terminal locally. But first, let's go ahead to the wandb website. I'm leaving a link down in the description section below so that you can register through that link. They've got this beautiful website, so just go ahead and click sign up. And since I've got an account, I'm just going to log into my account. And here's wandb installing in our Google Colab environment. So this is my profile on wandb. And next, what you'd want to do is import wandb in your environment, and that's it. Well, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape some websites so that we could, extract headlines related to our stocks of interest. Well, a straightforward way in doing that is, of course, using the good old beautiful SOAP way. So for example, if I've got this website, moneycontrol.com /news /business /cryptocurrency, it contains a lot of headlines. You can see over here we've got tons of headlines, and it's, for us human beings, it could get quite exhaustive reading these headlines and even the contents of the headlines on a daily basis or on a hourly basis, right? Especially if we've got multiple sources. For example, this is another one called businessinsider.in /cryptocurrency. You've also got the Yahoo, Finance Yahoo. You've got the independentco.uk. You've got 9news.com.au /cryptocurrency. Now, as you can see, it's pretty hard to keep track of those headlines on a daily basis. So what we're going to do over here, first of all, is I'm going to show you the hard way, right? And then I'm going to show you a very simple way. Of course, using a GitHub package that I found really useful. That's the next section of this course. But first, let's do it the beautiful SOAP way, because what if you guys want to have something customizable? You have your own sources, you have your own, resources, and you want to rely on those sources, okay? Well, first thing you want to do is start by inspecting your website and try to figure out where those headlines lie. For example, let's say I want to inspect this headline over here, and go ahead and click inspect on that. And I can see it over here, which it lies in an H2 header, okay? Usually in other websites, they could be within, let's inspect this guy, for example. It's also an H2 header. Let's go ahead to Yahoo Finance, cryptocurrency, and try inspecting this guy, for example, which is now inside of an H3 header. So we're getting a sense that those headlines are embedded within H2 or H3 headers. So let's say you want to do it the beautiful SOAP way. So what you'd want to do first is import requests, to access those links. Once that's done, try importing as well. From BS4, import beautiful. So run this, all is good. Now I'm going to show you how to use one URL. For example, let's say money control as such. I'm not going to limit myself to page 10, right? I'll just keep it generic for all pages. Next, what you'd want to do is fire a request.get on this URL and check the response. And why not print the response, which is 200. That means all went well. Now let's try to use the beautiful SOAP to further parse our HTML, right? So response.text contains, so if you want to print your response.text, if you want to print this, it's going to get really, messy, because you're reading raw HTML over here, right? And that's where beautiful SOAP comes in handy. Because you can actually tell beautiful SOAP, hey, I don't want this messy HTML. And instead, what I care about is my headlines only. So my headlines are indeed within the body. I'm going to find all those that are either H3 or H2 headers, okay? And next, what I'm going to do is loop over all the headlines. If I save this guy in headlines, and then I'm going to print x.text.strip. And once I do that, there you go. There's all your headlines that are ready to be, analyzed sentimentally. Or they could be used for sentiment analysis to figure out if this headline is positive or negative for your cryptocurrency exchange. Now, as you can see, this is a very abstract way, because, you're just inputting the URL, right? And then this URL is, giving you all the headlines it has. But in case yours has a search capability, I don't know, maybe here you go Q equals search, I don't know, plus Bitcoin or something like that, then it's good. Means that you have the capability of getting the headlines of the cryptocurrency you're interested in. But let's say you don't have this capability, or you just want a module that, you're lazy like I am, and you want a module that, you tell it the cryptocurrency that you want, you give it this cryptocurrency, and it just, returns all the headlines related to that cryptocurrency from a certain API or some certain source. Well, what I found useful is this lovely package called pygooglenews. It's by a guy called Artem Bugara, and it's quite credible because it reads Google News. So the guy uses BS4, so he's doing the job for us, So it's always good to use what's there. I think it's got a pip. Yeah, so we've got this pip install, right? So I'm going to go back here, right here, the pygooglenews way, okay? And I'm going to run a pip install pygooglenews as such. Give it a time to Download looks good. So here it's telling us you must restart the runtime in order to use newly installed versions. So let's do that. Yes. Okay, let me run the import wandb once again. I don't care about the beautiful soap way. You know, I'll just go ahead and do what, actually let me close those sources. Let's do what the documentation is telling us. So from pygooglenews, import Google News. Let's do that. And then go ahead and call Google News as such. Okay, run this. Good. And next, let's define the cryptos that we're intending to track. That is, let's say I'm interested in Bitcoin, ETH, Cardano, SafeMoon, altcoin, I don't know, Litecoin, and Phantom. Let's loop over all those crypto ticker names. And over here, what we're going to do is what this documentation is telling us. So what is it saying? You can get the top news. That's interesting. You can also search by topic. We can search by geolocation. So let's say we're interested in headlines in San Francisco. Well, that's the way you do it. And what we're interested in is stories by a query search. So what the documentation is telling us is that you can search for the best matching article that mentions a specific, I don't know, ticker or something. Now, so let's say you're interested in articles that mention MSFT, but at the same time do not mention Apple. You can do that over the past 6 months. So you can get all headlines over the past 6 months that mention MSFT and do not mention Apple. Now, we're going to keep it a bit simple, okay? We're going to apply searches only on the, you know, on the cryptocurrency name. You can be a bit more sophisticated. Let's say you don't want Bitcoin and Ethereum at the same time. You can do that. I'm just showing you how to get it done. Okay? And so, okay, I'm going to be using that. How? Like this. So I'm going to trigger a response. I'll shoot search and pass it the crypto name. Simple as that. Okay, let's see what this gives. But then next, what I want to also do is that I want to save not only the crypto name, but also the headline at the same time. So for this, I'm going to create, let me stop this because I'm not done yet. For this, I'm going to create 2 arrays. It's not the most computational efficient way because I'm going to be redundant with the crypto name because I'm going to, you know, append it multiple times. So you can do this using hash maps or something similar. I'm just showing you how to, you know, use this Python library called pygooglenews. So over here for R in response, because this response, if we print it, it's going to be an array. So we're going to loop over that array, and in particular its entries, okay? And each time we're going to append the headline list by the title of our headline, okay? And not just that, to keep things coherent, I'm going to also append the crypto name, okay? Run this, let's see what we get. I have an error over here. Stock list is not defined. It's stocks list. Actually, let me call it crypto list to avoid confusion. Crypto list and run. Let's see what this gives. Good. So now we have this all, no error is thrown. Good. So let's check the headline list. First, let's check the length. See how many headlines we read. We read 700 headlines. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm speculating that there's 100 per crypto name. So we've got 100 headlines for Bitcoin, 100 for Ethereum, 100 for Cardano, 100 for SafeMoon, altcoin, Litecoin, Phantom, and so on. Okay. In case you're curious, you want to see how this looks like, well, let's loop over it for H in headline list, something like that, no? Let's print H. Let's see what this gives. So here's all our beautiful headlines, and the list goes on and on and on, okay? As you can see, here's a Litecoin mention. The first 100 should mention Bitcoin. Let me scroll, sorry. Bitcoin, why is Bitcoin's price dropping? Crypto crash. Bitcoin, and so on. Now that we have our headlines and crypto list in front of us, let's now train and perform inference using FinBERT on those headlines. Now, in case you're curious what FinBERT is, it's a financial version of BERT, which stands for bidirectional encoder representations with transformers. It's a machine learning technique for NLP developed by Google. In case you're interested in the research paper, well, here it is. It received 33,135 citations. Enormous. It's big. In case you're interested, here's BERT. Here's the paper. That's if you want to have some scientific background on what's going on, how BERT aims at performing language understanding and so forth. So FinBERT is, the financial version of BERT. It's more oriented towards financial terms, languages that us human beings might have a hard time, understanding them because we might not come from the financial background, for example, or we don't have enough stock or cryptocurrency knowledge, or we're not capable of reading between the lines because, let's say, you studied engineering, or you're a lawyer, or you're even a doctor. That has nothing to do with understanding financial terms, and that's where this transformer comes into play. So we're going to be using this FinBERT by Dogu, Tan, Araki. Those are the contributors of FinBERT. So we're going to use the FinBERT model, which is also available on the Hugging Face Model Hub, where you can get it right here. Okay, so going back to my Google Colab, we will now get the FinBERT model by first installing transformers. So we run a pip install transformers. As you can see, it's collecting it from the Hugging Face Hub, as you can see. So wandb. Okay, good. So now we have our transformers. So from transformers, right, we're going to import auto tokenizer to get the tokenizer and the model. And we're also going to need auto model for sequence. I think it's classification, right? Now we're going to open an auto tokenizer, and from pre-trained, we're going to go, let me go back here. We need this link right here, Prosus AI / FinBERT, as such. Okay, and we're going to save this guy in a tokenizer. Okay, then we need the model as well. So I'm going to run auto model for sequence classification dot from pre-trained, and I'm going to copy paste the same link, and I'll save this guy in a model, right? So let me run this. It's downloading the model. This might take a bit of time. As you can see, it's 418 megabytes. This contains tons of financial juicy data that will turn out to be good for our crypto, currency headline sentiment analysis. I'm pretty curious if maybe someday in the future we're going to have like a crypto BERT. Actually, let me Google that. Crypto BERT. There's a Twitter account in the name of crypto BERT. Not sure. There's a GitHub. It's an account. Okay, good. Right. One last thing. Now that we have the model and the tokenizer, we're going to perform inference on the crypto market headlines with the FinBERT model, which is implemented in Hugging Face. Okay, so for that, we're going to import Torch as such, because as we see over here, there's a very important note saying that FinBERT implementation relies on Hugging Face's PyTorch pre-trained BERT library and their implementation of BERT for sequence classification tasks. So we're going to have to train this, or at least do inference using PyTorch. And that's why I've included the import torch. So what I'm going to do first is model.eval, evaluate the model, and then I'll loop over all the lines and cryptos in. We're going to do it the zip way. And a nice way to do this is, let's go back up here and define a function that is, let's call it chunk list. Pass it the list and the size of the chunk, right? We'll do this loop over here, and we will yield, right, the list from I to I plus n. So it's as if we're reading the list as windows. Of course, if you have done this using a hash type way, it would be much easier. I'm just showing you how to get it done. Okay, and right here, let's define the chunk size. say 100, and because each one is 100, we saw that the total size of the headline list or the crypto list is 700, so 100 each. And then in continuing this for loop right here, I'll pass the function called chunk list, passing it the headline list and passing it the chunk size along with the crypto list. So chunk list, the function, and we'll do crypto list and pass it the chunk size. Okay, in this loop what I'm going to do is we'll take an input, open a called the tokenizer by passing it the lines, setting padding to true, truncation true as well, and next we'll do outputs equal model, passing it the input. Okay, then we will predict using torch.neural networks.functional and use the softmax. So this is the block we need for now, okay, but it's incomplete because we need to store the predictions, whether it's positive or negative or neutral, in a wandb table. Wandb tables are super powerful. WNB tables lets you interactively analyze your model predictions. This will let us understand our model and make sure it's performing correctly and further share it with my colleague. So for weights and biases table, I'm going to create a code cell right here. One more time over here. And right here, what I'm going to do is going to import wandb, and then wandb, we go wandb.init, give our project a name, let's say crypto currency, what do you want to call it? Headline sentiment analysis. Okay, then we're going to define a table right here. Let's call it headlines table and call wandb dot look here. Wandb provides a lot of cool stuff you can store your data in. For example, you've got histogram, you've got a graph, HTML, image. You could also store Jupyter, the entire Jupyter notebook, Keras, 3D object, plot ly. What we're interested in for this project is, for this cryptocurrency headline sentiment analysis project, is table. So I'm going to store what I have in a table with columns that contains, the headline that we extracted from pygooglenews. We're going to store the crypto. So headline and crypto will contain exactly crypto headline list and crypto list respectively. Okay, then we're going to indicate whether this guy was positive or negative or neutral, because that's what our PyTorch is going to infer. Thanks to the FinBERT model along with Hugging Face implemented in Hugging Face, we're going to train this model based on this model. And then we're going to perform inference using PyTorch to figure out whether this headline is actually positive, negative, or neutral. Okay, let's run this piece of code. So wandb here is appending the key and syncing. What's really cool about the wandb library is that unlike other packages, you don't need to enter the API key, which I showed you initially in the video. If you're given that you're on the same browser, right, it could figure it out automatically. Right, so now that we have our headline table, we can go back down here to the inference part and then run another loop as such. So for headline, crypto, positive, negative, neutral, and zip. Let's zip according to lines, cryptos, prediction, convert that to a list, and do the same thing for the next column and the last column, because the prediction is a 3-column matrix. First one is for positive, second one is for negative, and the third one is for neutral. So once we have this type of loop, go ahead and call headlines underscore table and add the data that we are extracting as such. So I'll copy paste all this right here. Okay, let me run this. This might take some time. Okay, using PyTorch. So my n is not defined. I am very sorry about that. But let me define it here, set it to 0 and rerun. Now it's telling me prediction is not defined, and this is absolutely correct because we need to save this guy in a prediction variable. So let's do that. Prediction is equal to our neural network training method. Okay, so it's currently working. So this is the first chunk out of the 7. So this one I think is for Bitcoin. It's going to loop over this order as you can see up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first one is Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then Cardano, SafeMoon, Altcoin, Litecoin, and Phantom. Oh, I did a mistake over here. Well, it's not a mistake. It's not going to cause any harm, but you know, just to keep things clear, we need to append n at each time just for visualization's sake. So let's do that. And there you go. 1 over 7, 2 over 7, up till 7 out of 7. And now that we're done, now that we have the model trained, we can just hop on over weights and biases. I'll go to projects. There you can see my cryptocurrency project. And here we've got some interesting metrics that have been reported automatically off of thanks to wandb. For example, you can view your network traffic, how much network your application or your prototype that you're trying to implement on Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook is consuming. Before you implement your app, you need a high-level prototype of your app. So you can first start checking, how much network traffic you're consuming. Disk utilization, so far so good. We consumed 40%. CPU threads in use 13, between 12 and 13. You've got process memory. What else? Process memory in use and process memory and so on. We still don't have our table. So we go back over here. And then we need to tell wandb that, oh, my headlines table is done. So right here, Google Colab, we're going to push the model predictions onto the weights and biases table. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So for that, we'll call wandb.run.log. Okay, then go ahead and say, I don't know, cryptocurrency. You throw in any custom message you want, sentiment analysis table, and pass it the headlines table. Then call wandb.run.finish. So as you're done with your log running this, and there you go. Once you see this message, I think it means all is well. You can go ahead and click on this link. And there you go. You've got the entire data over here, which is pretty amazing because this data could be shared with other group members in your team. It could be downloaded, it could be saved, it could be tracked. You can do a lot of stuff with this table. Actually, let me show you a couple of things over here. You could, so for example, you can have different types of viewing your table by clicking here. This is a more compact way, if you will. You could add a section over here. And now you can actually start creating customizable columns. For example, I want to insert a column here, customize it to my own good. Well, let's say I'm interested with, headlines that, lowercase, that contains the word, I don't know. Let's say you're trying to see if some words bias, the output of the FinBERT training model, or you would like to, extract headlines that contain the cryptocurrency that you're interested in. Let's say I'm interested in those that contain the word Bitcoin, even though they do not lie in the cryptocurrency corresponding to Bitcoin. So let me do this. And yeah, so this guy is a Boolean, as you can see, Boolean. And as you can see, all are true. All are true. Now, there's definitely others that are false. There you go. So now we've got a table that tells us, whether this corresponding line contains the word Bitcoin or not. As you can see here, Bitcoin, true, Bitcoin, true, Bitcoin, true. But when I go, let's say here, there's no Bitcoin, it's false. Now, a better way to visualize what's going on is to group by this column. Let's group by this column and see what we get. We get all those beautiful, beautiful plots provided to us for free by wandb. So what we get over here is that there's a lot of positive and negative headlines when it comes to Bitcoin, right? all those that are Bitcoin, true. We've got 220 that are actually positive, but we've also got 271 that are negative. So for all those that are Bitcoin, let's read this table and see what we get. So there's a lot of values that are, close to 0, which means they're not positive, and close to 0 for negative, so they're not negative, but close to 1 for neutral. Okay, so it means that Bitcoin right now is, neutral. Okay, now let me change this Bitcoin over here, and let's go and type in SafeMoon, for example. And as you can see, SafeMoon follows a similar trend. So if you want to analyze something else, let's say Ethereum, ETH, let's see what we get. Well, Ethereum tends to have some negative stuff, you've got 19 negative headlines, but you've also got a lot of positive stuff going on. So you've got 12 that are almost 1, 10 that are between 0.8 and 0.9. A lot seem to be neutral as well. Let's say we want to see how NFT is doing, and NFT seem to be doing better positive than negative. Actually, you see all the values of negatives? None is close to 1. Whereas for the positives, you've got one count that is positive. Let's see altcoin. Well, altcoin is a bit different because you've got this U-shaped histogram, which means, okay, you've got a lot of neutral, but you've also got some biased headlines that are either positive or negative. Well, we've got here, we've got some density around that tends to be positive, which if you count seems to dominate the negative. So this means that altcoin could be performing well. Now again, this is data over 1 day. You should collect a lot of data from different sources and average accordingly. For example, if you type the word up tends to be more positive than negative. So you've got here 9 plus 3, 12 plus 3, 15. You can go up to 30 over here. 0.6 is your threshold, let's say. Whereas here you've got 7. So the term up could indicate that you've got a positive, headline, right? Now, in case you want, you're mixed up with histograms, you don't like histograms, and you'd prefer, just a hard number, just one number, summarize all this histogram in a number, you can perform an average, let's say. So for that, you can, go to column settings, type in dot average, and you get an average, the average metric. So 0 means not positive, 1 means very positive, and it's like a same thing here. You can do this as well, and you can do, for example, the same thing with neutral. Okay, so you can also, have a compound statement, like for example, or contains the word, I don't know, or you want it only for the crypto that is equal to, I don't know, you want only up for Bitcoin. Do we have those? Yes, we do. And yeah, for that, it's more positive than negative. Okay, let's say again, we're looking at headlines that contains, I don't know, Ethereum. Let's see what we get. More positive than negative. Okay, say SafeMoon. Again, more positive than negative, right? And this also depends not only on the numbers that you see, but it also depends on how many samples we're able to get. That's why I said previously that the more, samples you've got, the better. This video is in no way a demonstrator of what stocks to pick. I'm just showing you a method that instead of you going and analyzing the headline, you have FinBERT along with wandb that could get the job done for you. Of course, with PyTorch and Python and pygooglenews. Okay, that's a very important tool that I use. So let's say Litecoin. Litecoin has twice as many positive as negative. Well, that's really good. Now, another way of visualizing your data is using the plot feature provided to us by Weights and Biases, wandb. So, by default, what we have is the headlines each point corresponds to a headline and a crypto that we read using pygooglenews. As you can see here, we've got the points that are most positive, so that could also give you an idea of which stocks to buy. For example, you've got altcoins, you've got, I don't know, Bitcoin again, Phantom again, Cardano. So if you've got a portfolio, a set of cryptos, and you're confused, you just want to buy 5 out of those, I don't know, 7, or, well, this is a nice plot of getting the job done. It suffices to, look at the mostly positive words with less negative mentions, okay? So let's say you want to customize what you see over here in the tooltip. Let's say you only want to, check the crypto. As simple as that. You click apply, and then you've got Phantom, altcoin, Litecoin, altcoin again. If you want something more satisfiable, you could change the label. For example, you could have something like, I don't know, row crypto that is equal to the crypto that you want. So let's say Bitcoin. You apply, and there you go. So you see that Bitcoin, okay, if we zoom in over here, we've got those 2 points right here that are mostly positive. But then we've also got some, we see that we have a considerable amount, that is the orange dots, that is, you see here, true, that is, it is Bitcoin. So you've got some points that are negative, and you've got also a considerable amount that are neutral. So it's up to you to decide. Maybe you want to count the number of points that are mostly positive over mostly negative. Let's say you want to change, let's try another crypto. Let's say SafeMoon, same thing. Cardano has a considerable amount of positive mentions, as you can see over here, compared to the negative mentions, which we've got about 5. Well, you can also check according to, so let me erase all this. According to the headline that contains, let's say, the word Bitcoin, apply. And as you can see, we've got a lot of bad news, but we've also got a lot of good news. Okay, change this, let's say, to ETH, and apply. SafeMoon, and so on. So this is the way you could work around with wandb tables. You can visualize them as histograms, plots, or as raw tables. wandb offers a lot of different, utilization tools, such as Plotly. You can track your different hyperparameters in case you're training your own custom model. You could also process images for computer vision projects and many, many more. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you then.